So the Game Awards just happened last night, and to be honest with you guys, it was actually pretty damn good. And so I wanted to go over the Game Awards today and maybe go over a couple of the games. Of course, not all of them, because let's be honest, there were quite a few of them that really just didn't pique my interest enough for me to want to go into details about them. So I'm only going to discuss a few of the games that I thought were the most interesting, and at the end of all of this, I want to give my general thoughts of the Game Awards as a whole. And this is going to be a pretty laid back sort of video, like there's no real script here or anything like that. It's just gonna be my initial thoughts on what I was thinking as I was watching the Game Awards. So let's go ahead and get started with the first couple of interesting games that they showed. And just for the record, I am going to be rapid firing through quite a few of these just so we can get through a lot of them, because I have a couple of them on my list here that I do want to kind of discuss. But like I said, I'm not going to be going into any major details on a lot of these games because, for one, there wasn't really a whole lot that they showed for a lot of them. So there's really not much to grab hold of. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start off with one of the first few that caught my eye, which being, I think from Software being Elden Ring Night Ring. Now, I'm not going to lie, this was a very pleasant surprise, but to be honest with you guys, I've never really played any of the Elden Ring games or any Souls game, to be exact. Like, it's just, I've never really been a huge fan of like games that are like extremely difficult and punishing to the player. Like, when I pick up a video game, I want to just be able to play it and have fun. And even though I do typically choose the hardest difficulty, like in most of these games, I don't really necessarily want to have to constantly be getting punished for like the smallest error in my gameplay. So I typically stray away from these types of games. But I'm pretty sure to a lot of people, this was a nice, a nice addition to the Elden Ring saga, I suppose. Now, the next big reveal for me was the creator of Ico and the Shadow of the Colossus. It was a pretty big reveal, but again, it really didn't show anything significant to truly be able to get a grasp on what was going on. But it just seems like a really, big mech, and maybe like in a sort of like an apocalyptic sort of setting, maybe. I don't know. Pretty cool though. Next is Outer World. Never really played the game again, but looks pretty solid. And is Outer World like still popular in this day and age? I have no idea. Like I said, this is definitely not up my expertise, so I have no clue. Now, the next major video game, and this is not even so much as for the video game, but mostly for the guy who was presenting it, and that's the cringe version of It Takes Two being Split Fiction. Like, this dude's up here on stage was just cursing up a storm, and it's like, bruh, I'm pretty sure there are kids watching this as well. Like, goddamn. Like, I think they had to probably start bleeping his words as well. Like, it's pretty funny though. And so the next segment that we come to talks more about the whole video game industry and a lot of the layoffs that we've had just from this year alone. And honestly, he basically goes over how a lot of people have lost their jobs in the gaming industry, and just trying to help them, people find jobs and stuff like that in the industry. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, it kind of sucks that we kind of have to have a program like this nowadays. But yeah, I think that's pretty. I thought it was pretty nice to see that, but yeah, it really does suck to know that there's just been a ton of layoffs and seeing a lot of video game companies and studios just going completely off the grid after one bad performance of a game. So the next major game would be Steel Hunters, which is a pretty cool looking robot game. Don't really have anything to say about that. Then we got this other guy that came up. I think he's like the CEO of a studio, and he's like the guy that does Borderlands, and he introduced Borderlands 4. I think his name's like Randy something, but like I said, I don't know the guy that much, but I just know that he sucks apparently. A lot of people don't like him, and yeah, he just kind of sucks. Next thing we've got here is a new fighter being revealed for Tekken 8 from a Final Fantasy game. I think the most recent one, actually. And then after that, we've got Virtual Fighter. I'm pretty sure it's another fighting game, and there are a lot of people who might be excited for that as well. Next, we got a game that got it revealed, but didn't really show anything. Just got, I guess, projects called Project Century. Got really nothing about that. Next, we got a new Turok game, Turok Origins, which was pretty nice. Helldivers 2 getting a huge update. Very nice. I am certain that there's a ton of fans out there who are over the moon for that, Helldivers 2 fans. And yeah, it looks really nice, looks really cool. I never played Helldivers or Helldivers 2 for that matter, but again, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are excited for that. I think Helldivers 2 actually won an award for being like best multiplayer or something like that, or the most ongoing game or whatever, I believe. I'm not really sure, but I know that it got an award, and I wasn't really paying that much attention because I was too busy writing down notes for this video, but yeah, I think they got an award for something. Now the next game is actually one of the ones that I was looking forward to seeing some information about being a big update for Power World, and I think it's basically like Fade Break or whatever like that, basically introducing a huge new island. I think it's bigger than maybe like Sakurajima as well, maybe, but yeah, it looks really great. Can't wait to see it when it comes out. Say what you will about, you know, the game and, you know, what people have to say about it. There are fans out there who love it, and then there are people out there who just absolutely loathe what they've done and how they just copy Pokemon and all that. Personally, I had fun playing it when it first came out. I'm probably gonna play it when the new update comes out as well. Fun fact though, I've never really actually did a lot of the in-game stuff from Power World. I just kind of kept restarting the game over and over again just because I like the progression part of it, and I never really beat most of the game or gotten through a lot of it. So going back to it after so long will be very nice to do, and who knows, I might actually try to grind all the way out to 55 or 50s, whatever it is now. Next, we've got like this game called Withering Plains. I think it's like a mobile game or something like that. Real nice looking anime style looking game, whatever. I think, yeah, pretty good. Next, now this one is a pretty interesting one because I kind of wasn't sure what it was, but then I just made a quick guess, being Onimusha, Way of the Sword. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I just made a huge guess on this one when I saw the guy sucking up the souls in his hand, and I was like, yo, is that Onimusha? And I wasn't too sure, but actually it turned out to be true, and it was just a nice, you know, surprise to see. I wasn't really expecting to see that here, but again, really cool announcement though. And that was a cool guess on my part. Next on the list, we've got Berserk of Kaksen, however you pronounce that, but yeah, it looks pretty good. After that, we got another anime looking style game. I mean, it literally looks like a Genshin clone called Arid. I actually think this comes from like another series called Dungeons and Fighters, from what I've read, and it looks nothing like the actual series, the original, whatever. And again, it just got Genshin written all over it, bro. I mean, and plus they introduced way too many goddamn characters in that cinematic for there to not be a gacha system somewhere in there. So best believe it's gonna be a gacha system for sure. Next, we've got Dying Light the Beast, and I mean, it looks nice, I guess. I honestly, again, have really nothing important or great to say about the game. Next is Murder Circus, I suppose is what it's called, and again, these first person games, I just don't have a whole lot to say about them. I couldn't care less for most of these type of games, so yeah. Now this next one is pretty interesting, being an announcement of Squid Game, and I guess the most important part about this though was, I think, the announcement of season 2 of the TV series Squid Game. And I'll be honest with you, the game, I don't give a damn about that. I thought the TV series announcement was much more important, bro, because I like the TV series. So yeah, like, that's the most important part to me. Actually, to be honest with you, I think they just threw the game in there just so they can kind of, you know, squeeze a segment where they can announce season 2 for Squid Game. And you know what? I ain't mad at that. Next, we got a game from the creator of Overcooked, and it is a co-op game, and it looks pretty cool. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, but I do like the Overcooked game. Seen some good gameplay of it. Next is a Game of Thrones game. I mean, is Game of Thrones even still a thing? I don't even think they finished the books or whatever for it. So a game, I mean, I guess that's something, right? And then we got this game called Solo Leveling Arise, and anybody who's watched the anime probably could have guessed that this was from that anime, considering that the character looks very similar. So yeah, now there's a game for it, and again, looks pretty nice, another anime style looking game, so, you know, whatever. Then the next big announcement that we got to, that I was pretty much expecting and was really looking forward to, was from Hoyoverse. We got some pretty good information about Zenless Zone Zero, which is pretty good. I haven't really played Triple Z, but it looks, you know, pretty good. It's a bit too flashy for me. I'm not a huge action RPG fan. I like action RPGs to some degree, but you know, I'm much more on the line of turn-based, and that's why for me, the most important thing was to see more information about Honkai Star Rail, and we got more information about that as well. We got to see, I think, the next big place that you're going to go to being called the Eternal Land or something like that. So I was extremely excited to see that. Can't wait for that to, you know, pull me back in and just sort of, you know, take more of my hard-earned money. But, you know, it is what it is. And then we got our first look at the new Sonic racing game called Sonic Racing Crossroads, and they showed Shadow a little bit, but nothing really else. I was really hoping they'd show us a little bit more about that, but I mean, hey, a new Sonic racing game though, that's pretty awesome. And then we've got a sequel to the Akami game. Like, you know, I wasn't really sure if there was a need for like the huge build-up that they gave us for this game. I mean, it's fantastic that we get a new Akami game, don't get me wrong. I love the aesthetics and the art style behind the game, but I wasn't really sure if there was a need for such a crazy, you know, build up. I was expecting something much more grand, but I mean, I guess maybe to Jeff Keighley, this is a huge deal for him, I suppose. And then last but not least, we've got Intergalactic from Naughty Dog. Yeah, I know. Like, you know, it took me a minute to kind of come up with the words to say about this game, but like, all I really have to say is like, where's The Last of Us 3, bro? Like, you mean to tell me y'all been working on this and not The Last of Us 3? Like, I mean, it's great that they got a new IP or whatever. I'm not complaining. Like, sure, it's from Naughty Dog, but like, where's The Last of Us 3, bro? Like, I'm still waiting. You mean to tell me we gotta wait another 5, 6, 7 years for this to come out, bro? For us to get any sort of indicator of this game existing? Okay, I'm gonna stop being that guy, but still though, like, man, I was really, really hoping for The Last of Us 3 though. I'm not going to lie, when I heard about it being Naughty Dog. Now, what are my final thoughts on the Game Awards? Personally, I do think it dragged on a little longer than it should have, but it was still pretty decent. There were a ton of games that, you know, just made me sort of roll my eyes at certain times, and I just sort of tuned them out for a while just because a lot of them I'm just not really that interested in them. Honestly, I went into the Game Awards only expecting to get some major updates for the two games that I mentioned earlier, being Power World and, of course, something from Hoyoverse. You know, say what you will about Power World and Pocket Pair and stuff like that, I still like Power World for what it is, and I hope it continues to get better since I do sometimes log back in to play for a while. And with the new update and all the new content coming out for it, it's just another reason for me to go back and play it and try out the new update, which will be coming out on the 23rd of December. The other major thing that I was expecting was, obviously like I said earlier, was something from Hoyoverse, since I do love me some Honkai Star Rail. I don't know, it's just always very exciting to see what the next big world you're going to be venturing to as the Trailblazer on the Astro Express and all that. And now it looks like there's going to be like this new this new female character that kind of looks like an evil version of Firefly to me a little bit to some degree. And I can see her being like the next big popular female character probably that a lot of people will simply go crazy for. Overall, I think the ending of the Game Award was actually pretty good. I was very happy to see Astrobot get the Game of the Year, and it was very nice to see it make like a huge statement where it's like, you know, games are just there to make people feel good and be happy and have fun without any sort of hidden agendas or weird ideologies that some people feel a need to put in their games and even long-standing series. So, you know, I'm not going to go into any major details about that, of course, here, but if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. But either way, whether or not some of the big companies take that to heart or not, well, we will just have to wait and see in the coming year of 2025 and beyond. And just a little side note, guys, I actually thought the show was pretty funny, actually. Like, a lot of people kind of shit on the Muppets a little bit, but they were kind of funny to me. Like, they had like this whole long-standing joke about the, you know, the awards going on for longer than it should, and I ain't gonna lie, they were right about that. But it was just like beating a horse that was clearly beaten, bro, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? I can appreciate a show that doesn't take itself seriously enough and can, you know, laugh at itself as well at times. It definitely got a few laughs out of me, that's for sure. Overall, I think it was a pretty solid show. Of course, if you're not interested in the awards or any of that stuff like that, or the announcements, and you just want to see the trailers of the games, then clearly you can obviously do that. You don't have to subject yourself to like 3 whole hours of, you know, filler. I'd say it's about 2 good hours of filler content and actually maybe like an hour of actual, you know, game trailers and stuff. Either way, let me know what you guys think about the Game Awards. Was it a W or an L for you? And also, what was the most exciting game trailer that you guys saw in this awards? And lastly, guys, I just want to apologize for the lack of content that has been coming out lately thanks to the holidays, and my day job has been getting really crazy because of that. But hopefully once things sort of die down quite a bit after the holidays, then I'll be able to upload more regularly again. But yeah, I just want to say sorry about that. And if you don't see another video from me, guys, before the end of the year, just hope you guys have a happy holiday, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.